Okay, so let's begin with this. So I've created this, I've changed the color of the terminal, a little bit better. So we have this screen, and in another tab, I have the other, the finished project. So this is what we're going to be doing right now. Of course, before I record this course, this practice course, I have all the projects, finished. So, I can have a reference. So, okay, so this is what we're going to do, and we're going to start with header. So whenever the page loads, we get the header, and it's transparent, and whenever we scroll down, we get a color, and of course, it disappears when we reach the top. And then, of course, we have the side drawer, and if we click on an item, we're going to go to a new section. So we're going to start with the header. Okay, so let's go back to our project. So first, the index, which is the first file, we're going to leave it just like it is. We don't need to change anything right here, but we're going to change the app.js, which is the other entry point, the main entry point of our application in this case. We're going to be using the CSS we have in resources, and we're going to inject it right here. So I'm going to say import, open and close, /resources / and then styles. So all the styles will be injected in our application. So whenever we use a class name, we will get it, all right? So right now we don't have a header, so we're going to create a directory inside the source, which is going to be called components, and inside components, of course, we need to create the header. So, okay, so I'm going to go to components, new folder, and I'm going to store the header, dash, and then footer. So I'm going to store the header and the footer on the same place. So for the header, I'm just going to create a new file called header.js. And the header.js is going to be a class-based component. Now, and this is, I'm going to tell you this, and if you're using VS Code, it's going to be really helpful for you. I'm going to be using some snippets. For example, I'm going to say React class-based component. And if I press enter, it will give me all the layout for this. So this is a plugin I have installed, and I will recommend for you to install it. It's going to be called React. Let me search for this. React Native. No, not this one. So let me find it, because they have a lot of installed plugins. So let me find it. You have the material theme, which is it is the one I'm using right here with all the icons. Let me see. React Native. No. React.js code snippets. So this is the one. So whenever we type something, RCC, we get a class-based component, and same thing with stateless component. So if you're not using this, this one is really, really great. That's the first thing. Okay, so first we create a class-based component, and this one is going to be called header. And let me change this, header. Okay, and I'm going to change the name of the file with a capital H. Okay. So, okay, so we have the header, we have a class-based component, and for now, I'm gonna just return header. So we need to import the header from the app.js. So I'm gonna go right here and say import header, then it's gonna be from, and that / components / header and footer, and it's gonna be header. Okay, so I'm gonna make a reference, and that's it. If the page is going to reload, and we get header, which is the text we have right here. Really, really simple. So to start, we need to bring things from Material UI. So I'm going to go right here and say import, and then app bar, just like this, app bar, and with a capital B, and then from, and then it's going to be at, and then Material UI core, and then / and then app bar. We need to bring a few things. I'm going to go right now to Material UI and show you what this is all about. Then import, and then toolbar, just like this, toolbar, and with toolbar, there we go, from, and same thing, add Material UI core, and same tag, toolbar. Let me copy and paste. All right, so then we have to import menu icon. So import menu icon, there we go, from at Material UI core / and in this one, instead of menu icon, it's going to be menu. So it's like a sub-dependency. And the last one is going to be icon button. Import icon button. from, open and close, at Material UI core / and same name. All right, so this is what we're going to be using at first. So let me show you first something about Material UI. Okay, so if I go to Google and Google Material UI, we're gonna get this Material UI, the world most popular React UI framework. So we're gonna go and enter there. And Material UI, what it is pretty much like, I don't know, jQuery, but for React. So we're gonna get a lot of components right from the from the start, and we can use them in our applications. So let me show you right here. If we go to the options, you're gonna get the components demos. Go to component demo and go to app bar, which is the one we are importing right here at the top. I'm gonna go to app bar, and this is what you get. You get some examples of what you can do with this app bar. And this is what actually we're gonna be doing. If we go to the final project, we have an icon, we have a button, and then we have the app bar. So we can use it as a header. So if I open the show the source of this, right? We are importing the same things, app bar, then the toolbar, a button, icon button, so we can click on this button, and of course menu icon. So we need to install this as bring it on our component so we can use it. So again, Material UI, it's really cool, and we're going to be using it a lot for a lot of things. All right, so I'm going to close this, and we're going to go back to our application. So right now we are not doing anything. First, we need to create an app bar. So I'm going to delete this. I'm going to do app, and then bar, open and close. Now this app bar needs some specifications, and this is actually comes from React UI. From Material UI. And the app bar, which is the header, we can set it, in a relative position, or we can use it as a position fixed. So if I say position equal to fixed, and then let me put something right here, header, is going to start as a position fixed, right? Right from start, you get the background. And of course, right now I cannot test it because the height of the web page, it's not long enough. So, but don't worry, we're gonna simulate this later. So what else? I want to change the background color because this one, it's really ugly. And if you remember, we have kind of a transparent or black kind of color. So for now, how can we change the styles? I'm gonna go right here, say style, open and close, and we're gonna pass the styles right here. First, we need the background color, so background, and then color, just like this. And I'm gonna use that grayish color. So it's 2F, 2F, 2F. Then a comma, I'm gonna change the box shadow. And then I'm gonna change it to none because I don't like the box shadows. Then padding, and 10 pixels. 10 pixels from the top and nothing from the side. Okay. So of course, we can see the color and the padding, but that is okay. Now inside of this, so we can put things inside, we need to use this toolbar. So inside of the toolbar, we can put buttons, icons, and other things. So we need to make a reference to toolbar. So again, toolbar, open and close. Now inside of toolbar, we will get two things, the logo, and then of course later we're gonna add the button. So the first thing is gonna be adding the logo. And remember that I gave you the CSS and we are not gonna do CSS. So I'm just gonna write a component, in this case it's gonna be just a div, and I'm gonna be adding just a class name. And make sure you're typing the same name, the class name as me, because if you're not typing the same class as me, of course the application will not find that class on the resources and styles. All right. So in this case, you cannot do whatever you want. If you change it right here, you will need to go and change it on the styles.css. All right. So header logo. That's it. Now I'm gonna go right here and say div, and I'm gonna be adding the venue. We have two lines right here: the venue with a different kind of font, and then musical events with a different, type of font or different size and everything else. So I'm gonna create two divs. First one with a class name. I'm gonna leave it empty, and then I'm gonna create pretty much the same thing. So I'm gonna copy this one and paste it at the bottom. So the class name, we're gonna use something that calls font, and righteous, something like this. And this is a font that we need to install from Google Fonts. So it's right, and then just like this, and then header, logo, venue, and the text for this one is going to be the venue. All right, and with a capital B. There we go. Now the other one is going to be header, logo, and then title and musical events. Oh, let me make it on the right spot. Musical. There we go. Sorry for that. Musical events. Okay. So if I, of course, reload this, we kind of get something, but the font, it's, you know, something else. And this is because we don't have the font on our project. So I'm going to go open a new tab. I'm going to say Google Fonts. And inside Google Fonts, we will search the font that we need. In this case, it's going to be Righteous. And I'm going to click the plus button. And we're going to use another one. It's called Roboto. You know, very, very popular. So on the font family, I'm going to go to Customize, Light for Roboto, and then Medium. And the other one is the only one we get, which is regular. And then I'm just going to copy this, go to the public directory index, and I'm going to paste it just like a regular font. And of course, the app will reload, and we get, you know, the venue and musical events. Okay. So the next step would be adding the icon button. So let's go to the next section and add the button.